But really excited to have you here to get all of the ins and outs of our Gap Year Scholarship. Because I think when we're applying for scholarships, sometimes we don't really know what people are looking for. And so I want to give you the inside scoop. Because you're here, because you're doing your homework, it's going to give you an advantage in the process. Nothing that I'm not going to give you any background information that's not available elsewhere, but I want to walk you through the process and what an evaluator of this scholarship is going to be looking for when they are looking at all of your applications. So this is the first time, if you don't know, the Canadian Gap Year Association turned 5 this week. It was our 5th birthday as a non-for-profit, which is an incredible milestone for us. And we really wanted to be able to celebrate all of those people who are embarking on a gap year, as well as those who are finishing up their gap year. So we've been pinching our pennies. We've been looking for amazing donors to help make this possible. So just as we're getting started, I really want to thank everybody who has made donations towards this scholarship to make people's gap year dreams come true and to really bolster and support all of the amazing things that these young people are going to experience on their gap year. So I'm really excited to be able to offer this year. It's our first year. It's going to be an annual thing, and I'm just so excited that we are able to bring this to you because that money can make a world of difference for a lot of people. So welcome. Just drop a little hello in the chat. Let me know who's here. And I'd love to know if you are a gap year alum. Also, if you're finishing up your gap year or if you are an up-and-coming gapper, because we have scholarships for both of those coming up. So if you could let me know in the chat which category you fall into, that would be super, super duper helpful because I want to make sure I am expressing the right things to you. So who are you and what are you coming up for? So Luke, you're coming up for this fall. Amazing. Congrats. Really stoked for you. I think that's it's an adventure to be looking forward to all of the things that could come. And I hope that this expo was helpful for you. I hope you got some ideas, took some notes, and are ready to go. So I'm going to share the presentation here and get that up and going there. And we're going to jump into how do we do this. So again, if you're just joining us, jump in. Let me know if you are an up and coming gapper or if you are finishing off your gap year. That would be helpful for me. So let's talk about this scholarship. What is this all about? If you don't know, if you haven't applied already, it's just simply cangap.ca/scholarship. A really simple way to find it, but that's where you can apply. And it's going to ask you if you are an alum or if you are an up and coming gapper, because the application is slightly different. It centers around the same thing, but there you go. So we are offering this spring 2 $1,000 scholarships. So we're going to have 2 winners for up and coming gappers, and we have 1 scholarship for somebody who is finishing their gap year, which is really exciting. We get to celebrate those who are just starting as well as those who are coming to a close. So that's what's up for grabs this spring. Now, if you are unsuccessful this spring, I'm just going to let you in on a little secret. I said there's 5. There's clearly only 3 on the screen right now. So in the fall, we are also going to be launching 2 more $1,000 scholarships. So stay tuned for that. If you are not successful in this round, you are more than welcome to reapply in the fall. And for those of you who are up and coming, come out to Gap Year Frosh Week in the fall because we have so much fun there. And I don't know if any of my alum are hanging out here, anybody who went to Frosh Week last year, if you want to share how much fun that was. But Gap Year Frosh Week, we will be making sure that all of this, thanks Rena, we're going to be sharing the up and coming stuff for the fall at Gap Year Frosh Week as well. So that's where all the money is coming from. That's what it looks like. But let's talk about what does that actually mean. So who is eligible for this? And this is important that we make sure we are checking all of these boxes. So you need to be committed to a gap year for next year. And if you are still considering it, by all means still apply. But in order to receive the funds, we're going to need you to show some proof or sign us a letter that you are not going to school, because this money is not for tuition. This is not an academic scholarship for the upcoming folks. This is an opportunity for you to do some informal learning or non-formal learning or alternative learning. And it's for your personal growth and development. So you cannot be going to school next year if you are applying for the up and coming one. If you are an alum, so if you are graduating from your gap year, if this is coming to an end, then you need to show us proof that you did take a gap year in this past year. And that will make sure that you're eligible from that regard. You also need to be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident or have refugee status in order to be applicable for this. So if you are an international student or you reside or you don't fit one of those categories, unfortunately, that would disqualify you from receiving the scholarship. So that is a criteria. It's open to anybody between the ages of 17 and 25. So we do have an age bracket to this. I think most of you will fall within that. If you are 17, if you do win, we're going to need a parent signature to be the legal age of majority and all that fun stuff. So 17 to 25, you are eligible. And the money for our upcoming gappers is not to be spent on academic things. If you are a gap year grad, that's a little bit more loosey-goosey. And if you do want to put it towards tuition, then that's okay. But it's meant for those who are coming up to spend it on something other than school. So beyond the dollars and cents of it, you're going to get more than that. So for our up and comers, you're going to get access to our gap year game plan. So that means you're going to get that wraparound support. If you were in the session with our current game planners, all that amazing love that was felt, and I was like blushing and tearing up. So thanks guys for all that love. You'll get access to that. You will also get the title of a gap year ambassador. And you get to be that influencer. You're going to be supporting our efforts and sharing your story and creating some content about your experience that we will be able to share far and wide on your behalf. So really excited that it's not just money, but we want to make sure that we can support you and we can celebrate your journey in really, really meaningful ways. For those of you who are our alum, you will still be a gap year ambassador and still create some content for us, which would be just so amazing because we love you and we love your stories. And we want to know how your gap year is impacting your whole life, which is great. So what are the questions on the application? So there's some basic things that you're going to fill out: your name, your address, are you a Canadian citizen, are you 17, all of those regular old questions. But the three that we're evaluating, this is what I really wanted to go over. And they're basic questions. They are very basic questions, but the answers cannot be basic. And that's what's going to set you apart from the competition. And that's why you get the advantage of being here and hearing these things. So why are you choosing to take a gap year? Just writing because I want to travel is not giving us the full picture. We want to hear more. And I'm going to talk about what that looks like. What do you hope to accomplish on your gap year? And please specify at least 2 to 3 goals. I'm just going to have like the word goals on repeat, and I'm just going to push a button because I say it all the time. And we really want you to articulate, what do you think your goals are for the year? What do you want to accomplish? What is the purpose of this time? And then the last question is, what would $1,000 do to help? What would it help you achieve? How is this $1,000 going to make a difference to your growth? And I think that's really, really important. When we're looking at the alum side of things, the questions are very similar. And we're talking about, what did you learn on your gap year? And how is this $1,000 going to help extend what you learned on your gap year? And those are the things that we want to see. So what are the tips and tricks? So what are we actually looking for in the responses to those questions? Because the questions are not difficult. They're not tricky. We're not looking to be sneaky. We don't have some secret rubric that you have to have these 5 words in it. That's not what we're looking for. We want this $1,000 to have the biggest impact possible. And what that means is we want to give it to somebody who is going to use it very thoughtfully and with intention. And the only way that we can judge that is how much thought and intention you're putting into your application. So like I said, just putting in one sentence isn't going to be creating that picture for us. It isn't being able to show us that you are going to put the same effort into this application that you are into using this money wisely. So what does thoughtfulness and intention look like? It looks like double checking for spelling and grammar, that you're thoughtful enough to have somebody proofread it, that you are clear in the way that you are communicating and expressing yourself, and that you are talking from the heart, which I think is really important. We really want to see that you have clear articulation of what your goals and desired growth are. And it can change. We're not going to hold you to those goals. We're not going to say, no, you put in your application. But we want to know in this moment right now, what are your goals? Because those will grow and change with you, and we want to see that. So what are the clear articulations of your growth? Or for our alum, what is the clear articulation of the learning that happened? How are you a different person now? And I'm not sure if you can see this, this last one here, but evidence of forethought. So evidence that you are looking into the future of your gap year, or looking beyond your gap year, and you can see where you want to be headed. That's really something that's important to us as we're looking at this. Now, if I'm going to give you some like super pro tips, what does that look like? You got to be a storyteller, right? We've got 3 questions to know who you are, to feel your passion, to feel your excitement, to understand what drives you. And that's what a scholarship application should be about, is how can you communicate who you are, what you want out of life? How can you tell your story? And that's something that's going to be a really compelling thing that we are going to be able to hear. I also want you to be honest in this application. There are no bonus points for wanting to donate this $1,000 to charity. That is not one of the criteria. Not that you want to start up your own nonprofit helping poor puppies that have been abandoned. Like if that's what you're passionate about, and that's what you really want to do with your life, and that's how you want to grow and learn and develop, 100% great. If you just think you're going to get bonus points for doing something nice for somebody, that's not what we want. We want to know, if you want to spend that $1,000 on a brand new camera because you want to be a photographer, that is compelling. Some may think, no, that's too materialistic. That's they're never going to give it to me for that. But if you can tell the story, listen, I'm an emerging photographer and I'm at the limit with my iPhone. I've done as much as I can. I really want a DSLR because I'm going to be starting this portrait business because I really want to do this, this, and this. That is a compelling answer, and that will win over, I want to give it to a charity. So it's about being honest about who you are, how you want to spend this money, and how it's going to make an impact on you. We're also looking for self-awareness. Do you have a sense of who you are? Do you have a sense of where you want to be going? And have you done that reflection? Have you taken those questions and sat with it for a while and thought about it, and like thought about it in the shower? How would I answer this? What's going on? And that you do have awareness of where you want to take this. And then the last one is, how will this money help you achieve these goals, right? We're looking for somebody who's going to make the best use of this money, not make this money go the farthest, but how is it really going to make you able to achieve something that you weren't able to achieve before? And that factors in the self-awareness, that factors in the planning, that factors in your goals, that factors in your learnings, and all the things you know about yourself and all the things you are aspiring to. So that's really what we're looking for. And our applications are due May 27th at midnight. That is our final date. All of the date stamps are in there, and we will close applications. And then we are going to have to go and have the difficult task of going through them and reviewing all the answers and choosing a winner or a couple winners for these questions. It's going to be a really difficult task for us. We're so excited to read about how this money can support you on your journey, whether you are an up and coming gapper, or if you're an alum, we know this money can make a difference and make some dreams come true for you. So that's where we're coming from. That's what we're all about, and we want to see you in. This is some of the joy of the work that Jazz and I do, is being able to see the growth, being able to see the opportunity before you, and to be able to celebrate each and every one of you. And we are just like two proud mama birds of all of you, for being bold, for doing something different, for standing up for what you need, and taking that bold move to take a gap year. So I'm going to leave some time here for questions. So what questions do you have about the scholarship, or about what we're looking for, or any questions that you might have? This is your chance. You have my undivided attention right now. And I want to make sure that you, if you have questions about the application, this is your time to ask. I don't know if Hardeep is here. I know how long you take on applications. And I will tell you, do not spend 3 weeks on this. It will consume as much of the time as you give it. But do spend some time. Do get somebody else to look it over. Perfect. Okay, so Luke, the question is, where do you go for the written part of the application, and what is the due date? So cangap.ca/scholarship, you plunk in your email address and your name. You will automatically get an email that will come right away. Check your spam folder if you don't see it, and that will direct you to the Google form. And the Google form will allow you to plug in all of the information, answer those questions for us, answer some of the logistical questions, a little bit of data collection from our perspective as well. And then by May 27th at midnight, all applications need to be in. So that's for the alum and for the up and coming gappers. Great questions. Yeah, you're all set there, Luke. Wicked. Amazing. Any other questions? When will the results be out? The results will be out. We're actually announcing them at our Gap Year grad event. So we haven't spoken about that too much, but we are actually going to be hosting a celebration party for anybody who's finishing up their gap year. So it will be, if you attended our Gap Year Frosh Week in the fall, we're going to be having a similar event at the end, where we're going to be celebrating you. We're going to be giving out all of those scholarships, and I believe it's June 16th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the evening of June 16th, maybe 15th. Maybe 16th, we will be announcing all of the winners, but everybody will receive a yay or a nay by June 24th. So everybody will be informed as we go through it. So it's really, really, really exciting. Any other questions? If not, that's all I've got for you. I hope that was helpful to kind of take you through the process, let you know from an evaluator perspective what we're looking for, what we're hoping to see, and again, just take a little bit of time, not 3 weeks, Hardeep, and put it together and tell your story in a way that is compelling. And we can't wait to give out the money, and hopefully one of you in here will be the successful winners. And yeah, can't wait to send that out to you. So that's all I've got. The booths will stay open if you want to go check out the expo. Again, if you are looking for other scholarship opportunities, there's a link to the RBC scholarship there. So you can also check that out. I'm not sure when their next round for that opens up, but that's another great way to fund your gap year or another really cool project after your gap year is done. So thanks so much for coming out tonight. It's been a pleasure spending time with all of you, and I wish you the best of luck, and let us know if there's anything we can do to support you, whether on your gap year journey or scholarship journey. By all means, that's what we exist to do, and we are so grateful that you were here with us today. And have yourselves a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, middle of the night, wherever you are. Great to talk to you, and have a good one. Bye now.